All right, guys. So this is the third case of updating inputs. So if you look at the right side, so again, there are three columns, right? So there's one numeric input at the top, and then there's an action button. And action button has a label, and it says simulate 10 times. And apparently, this 10 came from the numeric input, right? Because if you look at the middle column, user selects one, then that updates the label on the action button. So now now it reads simulate one time, and then far right, 100 selected, then the label on the action button updates to simulate 100 times. All right, let's look at the code. So UI side, it's very simple. Again, we have numeric input function and then action button. Again, the label is a simulate, right? Um, Now, on the server function, like the cases before, we have observe event function and then the event. The event is n, the numeric input. So nothing happens until the the user selects this numeric input, right? So that's why even at the beginning, so we're gonna see when we create this app in our studio. So the textbook, I mean, the author seems to say that this on the far left, that's what it looks like when the app launches, right? So let's see. So initial value is 10. And then when, so this app shouldn't do anything until the user selects N. So I'm curious what the label on the action button looks like on load, right? So let's check it out. Now, here in the code, so we have update action button, right? So we're updating action button, um, and we're updating the label on the action button. And there's input ID. Input ID is a way to refer to the um, the input function that we're revising, right? So it's a simulate action button. And the thing is, the label, right? The new label is being defined here. So paste function, there is a text simulate and times, and the variable in between is the numeric input n that the user selects. All right. Okay. So let's do this. So let's close this. Oh, so this here, um, section 1.1. So this should have been, so let's rename this. So this should have been 1.1.a because there are two simple cases in section 1.1. Okay. And then let's create another file for B and let's refresh so that it's sorted. All right. So let's delete everything. Shiny app. Now we have numeric input and action button. So numeric input, input ID, label, and value. Three mandatory arguments. So numeric input ID will be n. Label will be what? Simulate? Simulations. Simulations. And then initial value is 10. And then action button. Now input ID. Okay. Hit tab. Right. So this way we're not sure which one has default value assigned. So let's try this again. Action button. Yeah, here we can see input ID, label. Those are the two mandatory arguments. All right. So input ID, simulate. Oops. And then label is simulate with uppercase S. All right. And then we have observe event. And the event is input. Event is an numeric input. And then handler expression is, so um, we're going to update action button. And then input ID, um, so we're updating simulate action button. And then what are we updating? We're updating label. And then the variable label um, we are going to create. So we're going to define new label here with paste zero function, right? And the text is simulate and then input, numeric input that the user chooses, and then times is uppercase T? No, lowercase t. Period? No period. Okay. So that's it. Let's try run app. All right. So, oh, we need a space, space, space. All right. So, yeah, on load, on load. When the app launches, it already has 10, right? So, because initial value is 10, that is the event on load, and it updates to 10, which is the initial value. So the label shows assimilate 10 times, right? Even though on the action button, the label is only simulate. Okay. So now we change this. The label updates. Great. Great job. I'll see you in the next video, guys.